Hey y'all, it's Raj with EV365, and today we're going to take a look at the Tesla Cybertruck. All right, y'all, there it is, the Tesla Cybertruck. And of course, the first thing you're going to notice anytime you see this is that unique styling that Tesla went with on the Cybertruck. Very angular, and of course, that stainless steel exterior. And my neighbor was nice enough to wash this before I shot it today, which is awesome. So you can see it looks really clean, looks cool, and they follow that angular design really everywhere on the truck. You can see the fenders are angular. Of course, every edge that you come to comes to a point. And yeah, that styling kind of continues in the inside of the vehicle as well. And my neighbor got it's a Foundation Series truck, which you can actually see that back here. So he was very early on getting an order in. So they've just got that subtle marking of Foundation Series. Surprisingly, it actually does not have the Tesla logo anywhere on the vehicle. But of course, with the unique shape of this truck, you're not going to need that. Everybody knows what it is. And he got the all-wheel drive version. So that's what this is, the four-wheel drive Tesla Cybertruck. And I'm just giving you a peek of the bed back there. And of course, he's using this truck already, and I wanted to just leave stuff in there so you can kind of see it in use. And this, of course, the tonneau cover is open, so you can see everything, but that's a really sizable bed back there. And if you do want to close that tonneau cover, you can control it right here. And we'll just give you an example of that. You can see that moves pretty fast and closes right there. And that tonneau cover is actually strong enough for people to get up and walk around on it. I'm not going to test that out, but there's plenty of videos out there if you do want to see that. And we'll just do a little walk around here so you can first kind of take in the look of the vehicle, because that really is, I think, what draws a lot of people to this vehicle. It's just that unique look of the truck. And some people love it, some people don't. So that's up to you to decide if that's something you want. And over here you'll see another marking of the Foundation Series. Again, very subtle. And you can see some of the cameras they've got around the vehicle. And it does have those cameras, but the Cybertruck itself, I do not believe right now comes with adaptive cruise control or lane keep assist, some of those basics. We'll test that out when we drive, but you know, obviously that all that stuff's going to come with software updates, but they just wanted to get that out. And then you see this huge windshield at the front, huge piece of glass, and then of course the wiper that goes with it. And they kind of put it over here on the side to keep the car aero and also kind of just blend in. And so that really, I think, is the largest wiper ever installed, maybe on a passenger vehicle like this. Now the Cybertruck does come in 3 trims right now. The highest trim is the Cyber Beast. Of course, that's going to have the most performance, and I believe that's retailing for about 100K right now. This all-wheel drive version is retailing for about 80, and they have a rear-wheel drive version that's retailing for 60K. All right, so now let's get up close and just show you some of this stainless steel. And I will say, like my neighbor has mentioned, that obviously keeping it clean can be an issue. You do get fingerprints and things like that pretty easily. I'm not sure if you can pick some of that up on the camera, or here's some water drop stains coming from the side, probably just from him getting the car washed. And so the truck itself, you know, like stainless steel, you know, even for those who've dealt with refrigerators that are made out of stainless, with this obviously is a slightly different type maybe. They do kind of get a off silver looking look. My daughter actually calls the truck gold when she walks by it. She thinks it looks gold. So my neighbor's actually going to be doing a wrap on his. He's going to go with a black wrap. And if you've watched videos on the Cybertruck, you can see that a lot of people are going with those wraps as well. The stainless is really, really cool, but it's really almost like a matte paint. There's just a lot of maintenance that comes with it. And so going in, if you're going to keep it stainless, you just got to know that there's some maintenance that comes with it. And of course, cleaning off bird poo and bug stains and things like that is critical. And now I just want to look at some of the panel gaps. I think Tesla actually did a real good job with it on this Cybertruck. You know, you're going to get some spacing issues like this. And I'm not sure that's really, I wouldn't call that panel gap issues. I think that's just part of the design of the vehicle, and with them going with this really angular kind of shape and look. But yeah, overall, this particular truck appears to be built really well from a standpoint of panel gaps and things like that. Like over here, you'll see, yeah, like obviously you've got a real thin gap right there, and then we move down over here and it's much wider. You kind of want those to all be consistent all the way around. But overall, I would say for Tesla, who has had issues with some of that in the past, this Cybertruck in particular is built pretty well. So that's just something to think about with Teslas, and really with all new electric vehicles, is that sometimes you might have some issues with panel gaps, so it's something to check. And we'll kind of look at the doors and things like that and see how they shut. One thing I wanted to point out over here is the charging dock is over on the back left, as they are with Teslas. And if you push that, that opens up. And you know, of course, your NACS charging port right there. And you can charge up to 11.2 kilowatts on AC charging at home. So you can get up to a 60 amp on a hardwired setup if you've got an EVSE at home, and pull 48 amps. So, and then on DC fast charging, I believe if it's a 400 amp charger, you can get about 250 or up to 250. And if it's a 800 amp charger, you can get up to 350. And there's a bunch of charging videos out there for you to check out just to see how the truck itself is performing on charging. So we'll close that. There you go. And we'll just give you a look at the wheels right here. You know, nice chunky wheels right there. That's probably obviously not going to help range, but they do look aggressive and mean and fit the general aesthetic of the Cybertruck. There is surprisingly quite a bit of rusting here in the middle of the wheel, and it's like that on all four wheels. And as far as mileage on the Cybertruck, they'll say you'll get about 340 miles. And Tesla has reported to the EPA it's got I believe it's 122.6 kilowatt hour battery pack. So you're looking at about 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. I would say for a vehicle of this size, if you are actually getting that, that's pretty good efficiency right now. You know, we're going to see that improve, I think, for all vehicles as time goes on. And that's what vehicle manufacturers are going to focus on, I think, and should. We'll look down here. You've got some tow hitches over here on the bottom, or pull hitches, I guess, if you want to pull something. Yeah, those are pretty solid. And the Cybertruck does have some pretty good towing capability. But again, with all EVs, if you're towing, you're going to lose quite a bit of range when you're doing that. So that's just something to consider. And then over here on the truck, you've got these slots over here, which I'm assuming are for crossbars that you can put across. So you've got two on the roof line on both sides, and two over here over the bed of the truck on both sides. So you can set, you know, if you want to do rooftop tents. Now, the one thing about this, it is a very angled bed and roof line, so I'm not sure rooftop tents are really going to necessarily work with the Cybertruck. I have not seen videos of them, but that's something, yeah, that's going to be something to figure out for folks. And then, of course, everything you put on there is going to be sitting at an angle, like bike racks or luggage racks and things like that. So, and let's open up that tonneau cover again. Yeah, if you let go, it stops, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So you got to keep it pushed to keep going. No big deal there. And you can see in the bed of the truck, you've got some pretty good lighting. So at night, you're going to be able to see what's in your bed. And then to get the tailgate open, just push this button and it opens pretty soft, which is nice. And that is huge. Yeah, this is fantastic. And Tesla, I believe, is going to offer a range extender for the truck, which is going to sit here in the back of the bed. So if you do opt for that, or if they start delivering those, it will take up some of the space in the bed of your truck. So that's something to consider. But you can see when that tailgate's down, you've got quite a bit of flatbed back there. And then, of course, you've got hooks and everything back here if you want to do bungee cords or tie downs. I'm not sure what's, oh yeah, there may be some additional storage underneath here. Yes, there is. You see he's got his charger over there. Over here, yeah, we've got outlets, and this is awesome. You've got 220 volts, and then you've got a 120, 240 volt NEMA 1450. So, in theory, you could charge somebody else's vehicle with that if you've got a mobile connector. So I do like that. And then to close the tailgate, I don't believe it pops up. No, it doesn't. So this is, you just kind of got to lift here. And again, this is one of the things, oh yeah, no, see, it's not stainless back here, so you're not getting handprints on it. You might get a little handprints on the light bar. And then I believe when you close it, yeah, it kind of soft closes, so you don't have to slam it shut. You just got to kind of lift it up like that, and then you've got a camera back there as well. Yeah, and it did not, the Cybertruck did not come with a key, like an actual physical key. It came with 2 key cards, and of course you can do phone as key. And again, just following the general design aesthetic, the triangular mirrors. You see that right there. Let's get this door open. So there, you can see there's no handles on the truck at all. The way you open the door is there's this bar over here on the B pillar, and you just push this left one if you want to open this door. And you kind of grab it from here when you want to open it, which that way you don't get fingerprints on the door. But then when you close the door, there's really no option on pulling something to get it shut. And you can't really do this. This is just a rubber liner. You might pull that off. So you do end up having to touch it. So you will get fingerprints over here on the door. And it is frameless, which I do like frameless doors on cars. But I think the Cybertruck actually would have benefited from having the frame on the B pillar come out with it, because then you could just push that shut, and that could have been something that was black and maybe wasn't picking up fingerprints on your stainless. But let's see how that door shuts. Yeah, that's decently solid. That's one thing I've noticed with Teslas in general. Sometimes the doors take a few tries to shut, especially on their Model 3s and Model Ys. Yeah, you can grab it from here if you want when you open it to avoid getting fingerprints. I will say, I would rather just maybe get fingerprints, because this is a little sharp, believe it or not. It's not a smooth edge. So yeah, you would cut your finger on that eventually or get some type of scratch if you kept doing that. And to open the rear door, real similar. You just push to the left side. Oh no, that's all front. Okay, oh, here it is. There we go. I'm just figuring this out as I go with you guys, so that makes it a little more interesting, I think. So yeah, there goes the rear door. We'll try to close that one, see how that one feels. Yeah, that one's pretty solid as well. So not too bad on the doors. And then yeah, we can start here in the back. You can see my buddy. He's a dad just like me, and they've got the car seats in there. And yeah, decent amount of room. And this seat is set to his setting. He's a pretty tall guy. I think if I had it on my setting, you would have quite a bit of leg room back there. But yeah, he's got his car seat here, so you can see for a child, plenty of room. And then he's got another booster seat, or not, this is the booster. He's got the actual carry-on car seat over there. And yeah, it's just a flat bottom here. So you got a lot of room here. I'll try to go from the other side and we'll squeeze in and see how roomy it is over there. Here we go inside the vehicle. I'll pop in. Oh yeah. So I'm sitting right here in the middle. And you can see I've got tons of room. Really comfortable. I mean, it's not quite as much room where I could like cross my legs, but they at least gave us room underneath the center console here. So the middle person, even an adult, you know, I'm about 5'10", so I've got plenty of room there. And yeah, I think the folks on the left and the right will feel comfortable, especially if the driver isn't sitting as far back as this seat is set to. So decent amount of room. I'd say a little less than I was expecting in the back of the Cybertruck. Headroom wise, you know, like I said, I'm about 5'10", and with this window cover closed, and I'm trying to see if he's, yeah, this is an aftermarket window cover he's got. Otherwise this would be, you know, a wide open kind of glass roof, which would look fantastic. And you saw that from the top. But here in Texas, I've done this in the Rivian as well. You just need this cover. I wish these auto manufacturers would put window covers that would slide back and forth, so you wouldn't have to get these aftermarket ones and you could easily switch back and forth. But yeah, with me being about 5'10", and honestly, I've got a short torso. I'm maybe about 3 inches from the top here. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, about 3 inches. So if you're a taller guy than me, and a lot of folks are, it might get a little short here in the back, and that's just because of the shape of the truck. It peaks right here in the middle. So if you're in the front, it feels super roomy. But then it peaks in the front and it just gradually goes down as you head back, you know. So that's just something to consider for folks that are sitting in the back. If you're extra tall, you may be getting close to the ceiling. But it does expand out in front of you, so you don't necessarily feel like the ceiling is right on top of you. And then of course, like the Teslas are doing now, and the Model S and Model X have always had this, but now the 3s and the Ys are going to start having this, is you've got this center screen and you've got a lot of capability back there as well. And you know, kids, if they're back here, they can watch their YouTube and Netflix or control music, things like that. So yeah, Tesla's always good with their software, and I don't expect anything different in the Cybertruck. And this all looks really clean and is well done. And as usual, when you notice inside of the Tesla, if we look at the front, they are going with the minimalistic look again. And this one's got the white trim. I assume they would offer this in the black trim as well. You can see that front dashboard is humongous. So you can maybe store stuff up there if you needed to. But yeah, and they went with this kind of a yoke steering wheel, but they have added the top and bottom to it, which I think was a necessity. I had a Model X for review a few weeks ago without the top and the bottom, and it was cool and you get used to it, but I think having this top and the bottom is a good addition by Tesla. Because one of the things I ran into on that other version of the steering wheel was you end up pushing the buttons on the steering wheel on accident quite a bit, and sometimes you're grabbing for that middle and it's not there. That's not going to happen with this one. And you see this center screen is pretty awesome. It's huge, right there in the middle. And it's again got a lot of that Tesla, the Cybertruck design styling. And you can see if the doors are open right there. The Cybertruck doors are open there on the video. So just really cool looking screen. So yeah, we'll pop out now and go check out the front. All right, now let's hop inside the front. And I'll set this seat to where I'm at usually. Probably right about there. Yeah, and like I said, when you're on the inside of the vehicle, just extremely roomy for the driver. So this is definitely a driver's vehicle when it comes to space, and I think that passenger there is going to have plenty of space as well. These seats, like all Tesla seats for the most part, are really comfortable. You know, the A-pillar, obviously due to the shape of the vehicle, it does lean pretty low. Kind of reminds me of what we had to deal with in the Lucid, except it does get pretty high quick. So you're not going to bump your head on that if you've got it open and you're trying to go through a drive-through or an ATM or something like that. But you might have some blind spot issues right here. But the window, you've got plenty of view coming out of there. And I'm just looking back here. Yeah, and one thing real unique about the Tesla Cybertruck, and we'll see this when we take it for a quick spin, is when you've got that tonneau cover closed, you have no rear view at all. So right now you've got a little bit, but it's pretty minimal. I'm trying to see if you can even see it back there. Yeah, there it is. Pretty minimal. So what they've done is you actually end up using a camera as your rear view mirror. So that's something for folks to think about just from a safety standpoint. And then you've got your window that's tinted when you pull the sunshades down, and then it kind of expands up. It's pretty big, actually. Those are pretty big. So yeah, those are pretty decent right there. In the interior, you know, it's kind of like this suede felt type of material, black. All feels pretty nice, but again, real minimal, is as you would expect with Tesla. And the screen itself and the software, it all feels real familiar to me. It's if you've driven a newer Tesla, it's going to be what you're used to, and the gear shifting on the vehicle is here on the screen. There's no gear shifter. There's no stems off of the steering wheel. And yeah, and if you like the Tesla software, you're going to like this software. I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. But again, that's because I'm used to softwares from another vehicle, from the Rivian. Yeah, I'm not necessarily trying to compare those two vehicles right now, but I'm just used to that one and I know where everything's at. But if you're used to this software and you know where everything's at, people do love the Tesla software. For me, there's just a lot going on with it, and it's hard for me to find things super quick. But you've got all the usual stuff: Tesla Theater, your arcade. You can make it fart. You've got the whoopee cushion. So let's see. Can you do that? Yeah. Kids would love that, obviously. You can connect your phone. You can add apps and remove apps. You've got your camera views and angles. So yeah, you can see you've got your front camera, your side right camera, side left camera. I'm sure you can get to your rear. Yeah, your rear camera. You can get to your music and of course your phone controls. And then you've got, yeah, you can just see your vehicle here and set your ride height, open your tailgate, close your tonneau. Oh yeah, let's close that tonneau. We'll close that up and you can just kind of see maybe, yeah, there you go. The entire back is blacked out now. So you've got no view once that tonneau is closed. So that's just something, that's definitely something for folks to think about when getting this vehicle. And then we can open the front from here. I was not able to figure out how to open the front from the front, and there it goes. So let's go check out that front. Yeah, and I do believe you got a glove box over here. You can tell this is brand new. He's still got his tags and everything. You've got storage in the doors, storage over here in the doors. You got your cup holders and a little space here with your phone charging. And the cup holders, yeah, they fit that normal Tesla. And then you've got the inside the armrest and storage underneath as well over there. So yeah, usual standard stuff right there. And if you've driven a Tesla before, you're used to opening the doors this way. There's a button here and that'll get your door opened and you can head on out. All right, so there's the frunk is open now. And yeah, it's not the biggest frunk in the world, obviously. I mean, that's a small frunk. But what I do like about it is it's got this flat lip. So if you do want to lift stuff up and get it into there, it's pretty easy to do. But yeah, this is going to be a space where you can store some groceries, your backpack, things like that. You're not going to put a whole bunch of luggage in here. I'd imagine you could probably get a carry-on type bag or two in there. And then one thing I did want to point out on the frunk that a lot of YouTubers have shown us already, so I won't give you the demo, but this edge over here is pretty sharp, and so is this coming down up here. This one actually is really sharp. And the Cybertruck frunk, when it closes, it doesn't have a real strong sensor. So you just got to be real careful that kids don't have their fingers, or even you, or you don't have something dangling out of there that you don't want to get cut, because there's been a lot of examples of the Cybertruck cutting through carrots and things like that over here. So that's just something to be careful about when you shut that front. But there you can see you push that button to get it shut and it closes, and pretty soft close. All right, as you can see, I've got the Cybertruck pulled into our garage next to our Rivian. And the Cybertruck's about 18.6 feet long. The Rivian's just a little over 18 feet long, maybe about 18.1. So in theory, you can fit the Cybertruck in this garage. Right now, we're just a little bit further out than you'd want to be if you were closing that garage. I've got both the Cybertruck and the Rivian pulled in with the front tires at the exact same spot. So you can see the Rivian's giving you about that extra 8 inches right there. So, and if you come up, I don't have the Cybertruck all the way up to the front because we've got this fridge over here. But if we went up another inch or two, you can see we could fit that into the garage. So it would fit into a garage that's over 8. You probably need a garage that's probably 19 to 20 feet long to get this thing in there and feel comfortable about it. We've got this lip That's another 3 feet. So that gives us a total of about 21 feet in our garage. And you can see it's hanging over that lip a little bit. And we do the same thing with our Rivian on this side as well. And the Rivian probably actually needs to hang over a little more, just because it's a little, well, actually I think the length from the tire, midway through the tire to the front's about the same on both. Cybertruck is probably a little bit shorter. But yeah, obviously the Cybertruck's got a little bit more length on the top. And both of them height-wise, you can see probably about the same. Cybertruck kind of peaks at the top, like we said, and then goes down from there. And then Rivian, of course, is a little flatter going across. So you can fit the Cybertruck in kind of a standard size garage, but you do need to have that lip at the end that gives you that few extra feet so you can hang the front over it. All right, y'all, so that is the Tesla Cybertruck all-wheel drive, and that's a view of it from the outside and the inside. And we've got some footage of us driving it around, so if you're interested, we'll be releasing that in a few days. So hit that notification icon and you'll get an alert letting you know when it posts. Otherwise, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll be sure to answer them. And thanks for watching. Hang loose, y'all.